Hi, this is a video about SCIA Engineer, and it's about selecting and filtering and searching for objects. Why do I record this video? It's because I had some weeks ago to check a structure in another finite element analysis software. And I have seen it's not so easy to find out how the software is working if I want to select some columns, for example, and check the internal forces for them. So I can imagine some teachers, they have to check structures from students, some engineers, they have to check structure from another engineers or from colleague, and so can find this video interesting. My name is Ivan Beleš, and I am support engineer for SCIA and Idea Statica. Let's jump into SCIA Engineer. I have prepared two standard models I use for trainings and so on. And I have one PowerPoint presentation. You can find this PowerPoint presentation, the link in description to the video. This is the reason why I did it, and some first introduction. There is one menu where you can find all this selection, and there are some standard shortcuts. So selection is here. Selection, you can find everything what you need. Then simply basic Control A is select everything, escape, deselect. Escape is very useful key. I think the best way is you put it somewhere on your mouse, so that this will shorten your time or increase your productivity. Okay, if you have something selected, sometime you will need to deselect. Then you can push Control and click on the object again, and this will be deselected. Again, selected. Shift, I think is the same, deselect and select. Without, I don't think is what's working without. It's work also without. Okay. So, escape, shift click, Control, shift, and you see also without is working. Selecting with mouse. I think this is the same also in another CAD software. You can draw a window from left to right, and in this case, only objects will be selected which are completely inside of this window. I do the same on the opposite way, from right to left, and you see much more is selected, because if you go from right to left, everything which is inside and also everything which crosses this rectangle will be selected. You see also from left to right, this is a full line, a continuous line. If you go from right to left, you have a dashed line. So that's the difference. Okay, I have to slide for it, for this topic. Then it's not related to selection, but how the selected objects appears on the screen. You see, if you select something, there is a dashed line, a violet dashed line. I don't think you can change the color. This is a fixed color, but you can go to the global UI settings, and here is defined the line pattern length. This is the length of this dashed line, and this is the width of them. How thick is this line? If you change to hardware OpenGL full, then it's changed a little bit. If you select something, then you say this is a full line, and if it's very thin, then it's not very easy to see if it is selected or not, especially in the results. Therefore, if you use this hardware OpenGL full, it's a little bit quicker than the hardware OpenGL, because the full is rendering everything on your graphic card. So if you have a standard computer with a good graphic card, then it's quicker. So, but if you do it, increase the thickness of this line to 3 or 4, try what is better for you. And then if you select something, then the line is a little bit better visible that it's selected. Okay, this was the selection. Then single selection mode. I don't use it, but some users use it. For example, accidentally they put it on and they don't see that it's on. So usually, if you go with your mouse to some edge where are 2 or more objects, it's better to show it on a wall and plate, but it's the same also in your structure from beams. If you go to the node, then usually you should be asked if you want to select the node or one of these members, 1D members. But if you go to this line, then SCIA Engineer don't know if you want to select the plate or the wall. So if you click, then you get this window and then you can select one or the second, the wall or the plate. If you go to selections and you go to this single selection mode, then you click and you see only one object is activated. Sometimes maybe it's better if you have 1D members, then maybe it's quicker because then you don't need it so often. So where are we? Single selection mode. Okay. If you don't get this context menu with the objects, you know this is the single selection mode. You can change the setting. Then there is also this visibility selection mode. This is one special thing. I activate a shaded model, and if you activate this visibility selection mode, I don't need, then you see if you go and you should be able to click somewhere in the middle of the plate and only the first object is selected. So this was the basics. Then, if you have selected something, it's very easy to make only the selected objects visible or opposite to hidden these selected objects. So, for example, I want to select only the first floor. So I go to the front view, select the first floor, maybe also this slab below it. And then there is this visibility. And there is hide unselect. That means make visible only selected objects. I don't think it's good text, but it's okay. So then we have visible only selected objects. It works only also on opposite way. So if you want to have then the full structure visible, then go to visibility. Toggle, it's Control Q, you can remember it very quickly. Control Q, you see everything. So go for again front view. So you can also select this one from left to right, this plate, and from right to left, these walls. And it was, I think, Control E, hide unselect. No, back. Hide selected. It's opposite way. So I did it on the opposite way. So you can select what you don't want to have in your model or what you don't want to see and hide these selected objects. So both ways are opposite. So you can select one or the second one. Then important, filter by properties. This is very common use function and it's not so visible in the menu. So, what we have for the task? For example, select the columns. I want to select all objects with one cross section. This is a common question on the hotline. I got a model from my colleague. There is some IP200. I don't know where is it. What you can do is to select one member with the right type. So if you know which 1D member has this cross section, then it's very easy. You select this member, you go to the cross section, to the property you want to select, click with the right mouse button and go to expand selection. That means all 1D members with the same cross section will be selected. But maybe you don't know where is this HEA 450. Then select some another 1D member. Then you can open this menu with the cross sections, and you can click with the right mouse button on this HEA 450 and go to expand selection. And the members are selected. And then you can with shift deselect this one member, and you have again selected only HEA 450. It doesn't mean that if you go here and open it and click with right mouse button that you change the cross section for this member. It's only a filter because we click with the right mouse button. If you want to change it, you click with the left mouse button. So that's very important. You can use it for all, I think, for all properties which are there. On every property, you can click with the right mouse button. Thickness for plates, material, for example, intensity of load, supports with some special spring or hinges, whatever you want. For example, I go to Control Q to activate all, and I have these load panels in the model. I want to deselect all or make all load panels invisible. So I select one of them, go to one property which is common for all load panels, and I know I use only this type of load panel to edges and beams. Right mouse button, expand selection, and it's Control D, I think. Height selected. Okay, I have usually Control Shift E in my settings. So this was the selecting or filtering objects according to property. Next time, change dependent objects. What does it mean? I would like to select all these horizontal members, I think it's purlins, and change the hinges of them. They have hinges, so we can make them visible. And I want to change all hinges on this cross-section type to have only 3 for bending around strong axis, but bending around weak axis should be fixed, for example, or opposite, doesn't matter. So I select one of these members, right mouse button, expand selection. So I have all these members. I leave it so you can push Ctrl E and make only these members visible. But what does it mean? We have selected the main objects. In SCIA Engineer, you have objects and dependent objects or additional data. Additional data are loads, hinges, supports, and concrete data, and so on. So we see here also hinges. So all these members have hinges. I would like to fix to make phi-z, for example, rigid. So I changed all these members on one click. So you don't need to select all these hinges and select them and go on. So select one of these master object and you can change the dependent objects. Deselect in property window. Okay, you select something. So what can we do? So I go back. Select again all these members and change it to 3 again, to have the same model also for the German video. And I would like to select only, for example, 1D objects, or I want to select, for example, only nodes. So I go here and select a window. So I have in the selection members, maybe load panels and everything else what I don't need, but I need only nodes, or I need only these 1D members, and I don't want to have the hinges here. What you can do, you can move them to the right. You can move them also to the right. And then we have selected, it's not so good visible. I do it this again. And I remove the 1D, the nodes, and I remove the hinges. No, sorry. I remove the members and I remove the hinges, and you see it's better. We have selected only the nodes. You can change, for example, the coordinates. So it doesn't mean if you move it to the right that you delete it, you only deselect. So, and then we have some more complicated or not so often used function from this context menu of the filter, which we have used this expand selection, but there is also isolate selection. What can be used? For example, isolate columns on the left side of the structure. Okay. Front view, I select this part of the structure and I want to select only columns of them. You need the right type of the members, of course. If all members are beam, then you cannot select it. But we have members and we have type. So I can go to this mixed, click with the right mouse button on the column and say isolate selection. And I have selected only columns on the left side on my structure. So maybe for walls, you can use it in some select walls in one floor. Maybe, could be. Subtracts from selection, remove columns from the selection on the left side. So I select again the same, and I want to have selected everything, but not the columns. So I go to the same menu, type, right mouse button on the column, and I go to subtract from selection, and I have selected everything except the columns. They are not selected. So it's opposite way to the previous function. Save selection. It could be very important because you can use it in your results, you can use it in modeling, you can use it in engineering report. In the tables, you can select them or filter by cross-section and so on, but you can select also members according the saved selection. So you can select something. For example, I select columns. So I go here, column, right mouse button, expand selection, and there must be in the selection, save as new selection. And you see I have only members. You write columns. You can go to the edit selection, because sometimes you have also nodes there and some load panels and loads what you don't need. Then you can simply take it and remove it from this selection so that only the members are here included. And each object can be included in different named selections. This is better than, for example, layers. You can have one member only in one layer, but you can have one member in more selections. For example, the column can be in named selection for all columns, but it can be also in named selection for frame 1 or frame 2 and so on. And you can use it then in engineering report. So, and you can again load this selection. So you can go here and go to load selection, and there are the columns. You can make some picture and go to the load, and they are again selected. So it's very, very easy to use it. There is one command, cell. For example, we have columns. I used the nice names ST. It's from German, Stütze. So I want to select all members with the name ST and something else. So I write cell ST and star. Enter. So I have selected all members with the name ST and something behind them. It's very easy. There is also one switch. This switch is plus or minus. I have it here, plus or minus. So you can select more things. For example, you get some message that these hinges will be not taken into account during the calculation. You make screenshot, then you see the hinges, you can select them. You cannot select all hinges, you know the names or the numbers. So I want to select, for example, STB1 and STB3, for example, only these two members. Then I write cell plus, I think plus is not necessary to write, better maybe minus to deselect. st.b1 and st.b3. Enter. And both are selected. I want to deselect the B3 cell minus stb3. Oh, cell minus st.b3. It's deselected. So you can play with it. It's easy. You can use also this wildcards like in Windows, star or this exclamation mark. Command cell mn is for selecting mesh node. If you have a structure, you get some results with the node number or element number, and there is also the node number, of course, and you want to find it, where is it? Then you can write the command cell mn or slash mesh node cell mn, and then write the number, for example, 13,000, 13,001, and you see, you get both of them. This is the 13. I don't know where is the 13,000. It was not displayed before, but doesn't matter. So then you get this arrow and you see where is it. If you don't want to see these arrows, you can select them. And I am still in the command. You can select all these and delete them. So it's very, very easy to find it. Then you can use also the table editor for selecting, and it's not very common used. I have to write each time an email to a customer. I go back to my frame structure. You can activate the input table and then, for example, 1D members. And there is also one line with the filter. You can activate this line filter bar in the table, and then you can simply write st. So, and we see all columns, only st. So if I delete it, we see also v and d. So I can write d, and then I see only where is a d. D dot. I see only something with d dot. It's the text. So st dot. So I have only the columns. Then you can select this first line, and if you select something in the table, the line, then it's visible also in the model, and you have it, of course, also in the property window. Then you can get to the bottom of the selection with Shift, select the last one. It's like in Excel, the same with Control or Shift. You can use both. And then they are selected. You can change, for example, the cross section, or you can use it for loads, whatever you want. It's very easy. You can use also a question mark to select. So I will remove it. I need, for example, this st.b1, and I don't know if it's 1D member, 2D member, and what is it? I write this question mark st.b1 and enter, and I am here. So, and it's selected. It must be in this table, but you don't know maybe where is it. So it's possible also to select here. Deselect with escape. I think that was everything in the table editor. Okay, and the last thing is a little bit complicated, but I get this question on the hotline. Not each day, but I get it. Now, go to this model. I will deactivate the mesh, model, structure, mesh. So, there are some walls with 2D concrete data, and they have different material for the steel bars, for the reinforcement bars. This is a question which I got not only one time. So, and you want to find them. So, first, this 2D member data, which have the changed material, they can be made visible. So, that's the first time. Right mouse button, first step. Right mouse button, go to the concrete, activate concrete reinforcement, concrete labels, display label, and I want to display member data only they are different from global settings. So if you go to all, then you get a lot of these labels. Some of them have this star and some of them not. So that means they have something changed from the standard values. So I go to different from global setup, apply and go. So then I can click on it and I am in the properties. I see this is material B400 and usually I use B500. So I can click with the right mouse button, expand selection. And now I have selected all 2D member data. They have this another material. How can I come back and select the walls with this changed reinforcement material? So it's a trick. You have these 2D members also here, but you cannot select them directly. But what we can do is to display all properties, and there are properties which usually are not used in the calculation. For example, from the structural model, but they are sometimes used in the model, but they are beam properties. They are very rare used. And there is, for example, I don't know, reference, and I write here B400 or some another text. That means we have our it's here, 4 walls with a different material, and we have a different reference, or not 400, and enter. So I can now deselect everything with escape. So now I can select one of this wall, or also this one, for example. No, I have to select the wall where is this property defined, and then I can go to here, right mouse button, expand selection, and you can see all walls with the different materials. A little bit more steps, but sometimes maybe you will need it. So I think that was the last slide. Thank you very much. I hope it will help you during your work. Bye.